Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I want to welcome you to the bonus call of the Marketing to Millionaires Profit Intensive series about how to really achieve the mindset of an affluent entrepreneur and remove the invisible barrier that is keeping you from achieving the level of success that you desire. All right, so for those of you who are brand new, because I know we had a bunch of people, we sent out an email this morning letting everyone know that we were going to be doing this training, and we have a bunch of new people. My name is Kelly O'Neill. I'm a brand marketing and profit strategist that specializes in helping entrepreneurs and thought leaders really position themselves as the go-to authority in their industry. I help them shake things up, shake up the status quo. And then I help them really design strategies to be able to scale their businesses to multiple 6, 7, and even 8 figures as that thought leader. And part of those strategies is helping them to market to affluent clientele, because I'm a big believer in working smart, not hard. I am a big believer in sound strategy over hustling and doing all the things, right? My saying is strategy is the new hustle. So if you are brand new to this, to me and to this training, welcome. You've gotten in on a good one, because today we're going to be talking about achieving the mindset of an affluent entrepreneur. So as you jump on, what I really want you to do is I want you to say hello. Make sure you give StreamYard access. If you're watching this on the replay, say #replay. Tag your profit concierge and let everyone know a little bit about your business. By the way, even if you've already done this before in previous trainings, keep giving yourself shameless plugs. You never know if your partner, a potential partner is in here, a referral partner, a strategic partner. You don't know if there's a potential client in here. So please do say hello. So we're going to dive into this training because I've got a lot to cover here today. But really quickly, I did a live this morning that you will have gotten access to through your profit concierge, where I'm helping everyone get caught up, get ready for this week, and really crush it out. So if you've not watched that, take a few minutes to watch that, because it is really going to support you in getting caught up on this training. I don't want to take too much time because I have a lot of content to cover here today. So how many of you feel like, on a scale of like 0% effectiveness to 100% effectiveness, like where is your mindset kind of right now, right? Where is your mindset right now? Like, are some of you aware, like, man, I'm having some mindset challenges, right? Especially, which, by the way, no judgment, right? We are in unprecedented times in this world right now. I think that it's shaken everyone up just a little bit. So I want to know, like, in terms of like your ability, your abundance, your ability to operate from a place of abundance rather than fear, like what percentage are you at? And then just really kind of for yourself, kind of think of like, I want to see if we can move the needle on this conversation during this training. Okay, so let's dive in. All right, so the first thing that I want you guys to know is there was this amazing survey that was done from Fidelity Investments, and they found that 88% of millionaires are self-made. Only 12% of millionaires actually inherited significant amounts of money, right? At least 10% of their wealth. And most of these people did not grow up in affluence. So when I say that, the reason I say that and the reason why this is important is because what does that mean to you? That means that these people started out in the masses and created affluence. Okay. So sure, I'm sure that a very small percentage of them had a stroke of luck. The other ones made a choice. They made a decision. They made a decision to have a specific kind of life. They took the steps necessary. They worked on their mindset. They got the strategies that they needed to create that. They went for it and they did it until they achieved a result. Okay. That means that can be every single one of you. Every single one of you on this call has the ability to create that type of success if you want to. But here's the deal. Not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. And look, one of the things that you will come to either know and love about me, or you won't love it and then you'll leave, which is fine, is I'm a really straight shooter. And I am, as much as I am of a, my glass is always half full, I'm very positive, I'm also a realist. And not everybody is cut out to be an entrepreneur. You know, if you are not willing to get out of your comfort zone, this is going to be a real bumpy ride for you. You know, if you are committed to operating from a place of fear and scarcity, you're not going to get off the dock, right? It's not going to happen. You know, the successful entrepreneurs are willing to stretch beyond what's comfortable to get what it is that they desire, because that's the only place what you desire lives. And we're going to go through that. So success, and really creating success. And mind you, for those of you who know my story, yes, I was raised in affluence, but let me just tell you, that was not handed to me, right? So when I got out of my family's house at a very young age, I was on my own. I am completely self-made, not a dime from my family's wealth. So, you know, it really requires that you make a series of abundance-based, ROI-based decisions, right? So your results that you're currently experiencing, or that you can choose today to change, are a direct consequences on every choice that you've made in the past, right? And so you can tell by where people are they making are they making more and more decisions from a place of abundance? Or are they making it from a place of fear? Are they making it from a place of opportunity? Or are they making it based on a past, or on a negative perceived outcome? Are they choosing to step into faith and rise, or are they going to step into fear and run? So wherever you are right now is just a summary of those decisions and choices that you've made. And even if choices were made for you, the response to those choices. Like, as an example, no one chose COVID, right? That happened upon us, but we all had a choice in how we respond to that. And the people that are successful, the people that get from meager beginnings to wealth and affluence, and really, here's the deal about that. I don't really care about money. Like, that's not the end goal. What I care about is choice, and money gives you choice. So the people that have gotten out of that and gotten themselves to a place of choice all had one thing in common, and that is they were committed, right? They got out of interest, they got out of playing, and they were like, that's it. This is what I want. This is what I'm getting, and I am committed to it, right? And there's only two options regarding commitment. You're either in or you're out, right? You're either in or you're out. If there's no such thing as like life in between. If you're trying to live life in between, like you're like, well, I'm going to be committed as long as I'm comfortable, you're out. You've got to be committed to doing the things that are going to get you beyond your comfort zone. It's absolutely paramount and critical to having the life that you want on any level. Whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your business life, you have to be, right? It's the only way for you to progress. No one ever got everything they wanted in life by half-assing it or operating from a place of fear. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about how, for those of you who are maybe new to mindset stuff, because we've got a lot of people in, you know, the professional world that are watching this that may not have as much like mindset training as, say, like a coach would or a healer. And so I want to kind of explain this. So Mahatma Gandhi said, you know, your beliefs become your thoughts. So whatever it is that you believe become your thoughts. Your thoughts then become your words. And your words become your actions. And your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. So everything stems from what we believe inside. So if you believe that you are not destined to become successful, well, then you start having thoughts about unsuccessful people, if you believe that rich people are bad, if you believe you don't deserve wealth, if you believe you're not worthy, those become your thoughts, right? And those thoughts, you start to speak them. And then you start to take action on them. The challenge with this is that it's your subconscious and your unconscious thoughts that become the reality of what you're currently experiencing. So some people, I get asked the question a lot, well, how do I know if they're not conscious, how do I know? This is how you know. What's the current reality that you're experiencing, right? Do you have in your life things that you don't desire? Like, is your money where you want it to be? Are your relationships where you want it to be? Is your health where you want it to be? What's the reality of your life and what's the reality of your business? And that requires taking a good, honest look. Like, hey, here's what's going well. Here's what needs improvement, right? There's no judgment. Judging doesn't do anything. It's not about blaming. It's not about shaming yourself. That's useless. It's really about non-judgmentally recognizing, like, this is my current reality, and this is what I would like to be different. And then we need to figure out how to change those beliefs so that we can have different thoughts and make different decisions to create a new reality. It is literally that simple. It's not easy, but it is that simple. So you get to change the reality that you are experiencing in any given moment. And one of the things that I learned when I had gone to the Hoffman Institute back in 2012, it's like, whatever's going on, like, you are not your bank account. You know, you are not your successes. You are not your failures. Everything is just data points. It's just information for you to be able to make the next right move. Okay. So you've heard me talk about this, that there's three things I look at when people come to me from all over the world, you know, sometimes 7, 8-figure business owners, 9-figure business owners come to me and they're like, there's something going on. I can't figure it out in my business. Help. Because what do? I solve problems. At the end of the day, I solve complex business problems, and I help people get aligned to create the results they want so they can get them like significantly faster than they would have ever gotten them before. Okay. So when they come to me, there's one of 3 things going on. They either have a mindset challenge, like there's a belief in there that's not working out. They've got a strategy challenge. That's easy to fix because I fix strategy all day long. Or they have an execution challenge. And I will tell you that 95% of the time, the execution challenge is a mindset challenge in hiding, right? There's some level of procrastination. There is some level of not doing what they know they need to do. And it goes back to the mindset challenge. So what we look to do in these sorts of situations for everybody, I don't care what level you're at, right? Different level, different devil. It doesn't matter how much you're making, how much you're not making, where you are in your business. It doesn't matter. We got to find the root of the belief that's creating the results that we are not wanting to have. And we need to change the belief, because beliefs can change like that, right? So who here wants a mindset up level, right? I want you to declare it like, yes, today's the day I up level my mindset. Today's the day I take it to 100. Today's the day that I double my results, right? Because the minute that you change your thoughts, you're going to change your world. It is really that simple. We have to change our thoughts first. Our thoughts become things, okay? So one of the things that we really work on in our Marketing to Millionaires Business Accelerator is training entrepreneurs to make decisions like a millionaire. So a huge part, you know, I know that a lot of people think that this is just a business training. It's not. Ask my clients. They're like, I have so much more confidence. I have so much more clarity. Like, I'm charging more. I am more aware of my self-worth. If you actually, every single month we do a results call with our clientele. Because look, here's the deal. Everyone gets the strategy when they come into our programs, right? And we know the strategy works. We know it does, because every time it's executed over and over and over and over again, it always yields results. It is like wash, rinse, repeat, it works. Where people will trip themselves up is in the mindset piece. Okay. So what we're doing is we're training you to make decisions like a millionaire. And every time we catch you thinking unlike that, we're catching you, we're training you, we're bringing the unconscious into your conscious awareness, because it's going to show up. We do that in our consulting calls. We do that in our results calls. And when our results calls, when people have gone from a place of stuckness and they've broken free and they're rapidly accelerating, they went from like a horse trotting in circles to a horse galloping gracefully. Every single time it was like, I took my foot off the brake. I got out of my own way. They made that mindset breakthrough so that they could gallop with the strategy. And that's the minute that they break 6 figures, they break 7 figures. That's what's happening. And so being in that presence where we're all holding you to that is super important. So the first step of this in making that change, right? Who is ready to make that change today, right? Again, I want you to acknowledge it. And I actually want you to write it down, because there's a lot of studies. So write it down in the comments. There's a lot of studies that talk about when you're really acknowledging this and you're writing it down, it actually creates more of that reality that allows you to make the changes. So step number 1 is understanding. How did our thinking thermometer get set to scarcity? So here's the thing. It's not you, right? It's not you. So one of the things that happens, and I think this is really important, for those of you who have any kind of, in anywhere in our life, we have a lack-based thinking, it is because when we come into this world and we are children, we need to learn to model the world in order to survive, right? Like you guys have heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We need to survive, and we need our authority figures to help us to survive. Right? So we look to the people around us, whether that be our parents, our grandparents. In some cases, we've got like nannies or that sort of thing. Maybe we have an auntie or an uncle that's really close to the family. And we're looking to those authority figures to teach us how to make sure we survive in life. And our little jobs when we're that little is to get love. That we're little love-seeking human beings. And in order to get we're looking at the patterns, because we're super smart. We're looking at the patterns that people are running in our family, and we are either adopting or rejecting those patterns systematically to get love from whoever the authority figure is that we're primarily trying to get love from. Okay? You guys with me? So we come in as little beings. We need to survive. We need love to survive. We are watching the people around us, and in order to get their love, we're going to adopt their patterns. Or if there's like ancillary, like sometimes, especially in divorced families, like my family, mom and dad had completely different goals. So depending on whose love I was trying to get, I was going to, if I wanted dad's love, I might reject mom's patterns. If I wanted mom's love, I might reject dad's patterns. Does that make sense? And so that is how we grow up. So therefore, we are adopting these patterns. Right? That is how we are learning up until the ages of 11, when what's called our critical faculty goes over our brain, right? And at that point, from ages 0 to 11, when that critical faculty goes on, we are just little meaning-making machines, and we're looking for how to get through this thing we call life, right? It's like a Prince song. That's what we're looking to do. And then unbeknownst to us, it's really funny too, because if you listen to people, complain or say things sometimes about their parents, and then you're like, but you do that too. And they're not even aware of it, right? So like, let me give you an example. My father is extremely critical. And when I am not in a good place, or if I'm off my game or I'm off centered, or this happened a lot in the past, I can become extremely critical, right? Because that was a pattern that I used to get his love. But then I would become critical of how critical my dad is. Does that make sense? So it's these patterns, they're running subconsciously and unconsciously in our bodies. But here's the thing. We've got patterns that help us, and we've got patterns that hurt us. And a lot of times we don't know we're even running them. So like as an example, in adopting my dad's pattern of success in business, that was a great pattern for me to adopt. Adopting a pattern of being critical is not a good pattern for me to adopt at that level, because it doesn't actually get me the results that I want. There's no judgment about it. It's just like, is it getting you what you want or not? The place that I really want you to look at for this in business is the conversation around money and wealth. The conversation around money and wealth. It's different. Like if you're looking for this in relationships, it could be the conversation about like love and deserving and worthiness. Like that's where that conversation comes up. In business, it comes up a lot of times around wealth and money and deserving. So if your parents said things like money doesn't grow on trees, what might you adopt from that? You might feel like, oh my gosh, there's not enough money in this world to go around. Or if you grew up in a family where you really struggled financially, like you're going to take that with you unless you consciously choose to change those patterns. If you grew up in a family, like I grew up in a family where I was immersed in like, it's easy to make money. Like money is abundant. Money is everywhere. That's the belief pattern I adopted. Thank God. Right. But like also like if your parents used to say things about like, if they used to make comments about like wealthy people, like, oh, all wealthy people are snakes. They're all, whatever. You're going to adopt that pattern as well. It's so interesting. If you listen to people talk, you can very easily find out what their beliefs are under the core when you're listening to them. Okay. The other way is that oftentimes when we're going along, then we will create these experiences, and then we have this experience because we have this unrooted belief system. We then create this experience, and that experience, then it's like, see, I knew it. I hear this a lot when people are looking to make decisions. Like as an example, when people are looking to make decisions about investing in business development training or consulting programs, coaching programs. And they're like, well, I did this before and it was a terrible experience. And so they're like, so that I just don't know if I want to do it again. Well, you can't have new experiences based on the old ones. You've got to change your beliefs. You got to change the way you're doing things and create new experiences. Otherwise, you will never allow yourself to move forward. This is the same thing in love. It's like if you've had a bad love experience or you've had a bad relationship experience, are you going to treat all your future relationships like that one bad love experience? Because if you do, it's not going to go well, right? You're going to end run things before they become you will end run the opportunity before it even takes off the ground. You cannot drive the future of your life and business out of the rearview mirror. And when you catch yourself doing that, you need to consciously stop yourself and pattern interrupt it and work on that belief. Because if you do that, you will never create the life you truly desire. You will always stop yourself short because it is more comfortable. We as human beings, we're insane. It's more comfortable to be miserable or to stay safe than it is for us to break through and risk, well, what if it fails again? Well, what if I don't get what I want? Well, what if you do? Right? What if this next experience is the thing that changes your world forever? What if this is the love of your life? What if, making that decision to take that big leap in life or business is the thing that you're like, that you look back on 20 years from now and say, that was like the best decision I ever made. If you do not give yourself that room to create new experiences, you will always stay stuck where you are because that is more comfortable than taking the leap. When I said not everyone's meant to be an entrepreneur, this is what I'm talking about, is you don't have to be comfortable taking the leap, but you still got to take the leap, right? It can be super uncomfortable, but you got to be able to take the leap. Otherwise, you will never be able to make a business fly, okay? One of the things that happens is, energetically speaking, our desire creates opportunities. Okay. So when we have a desire, there's actually a universal law that says you cannot have the desire without the ability to manifest the desire available to you right now. Right now. So you have a desire in your business. And again, I want you to write this down. What is your desire? There's reasons I'm having you write this down. Write it down for yourself. Write it in the group. What is your desire? Your deepest desire, in the next 12 months in your business, what's the desire that you have? And I want you to really connect with that, and I want you to write it down. Because when you really connect with that, the opportunity for you to have what it is that you want is already available to you. We just don't see it because we're driving in the rearview mirror and the opportunity's in front of us. So we have to actually look ahead. Whatever it is that you want, the opportunity's already there. You have to be on the lookout for it, okay? And then you have to take action, right? Mindset, strategy, execution. You have to take aligned action towards your desires, right? Which is an abundance and growth mindset. Even if it's scary, especially when it's uncomfortable, I'm not talking about just like going freewheeling and doing like whatever you want, or just being like, I'm just going to start doing stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like, is this a step? Like you have to like slow yourself down enough to really like process it and be like, is this what I really want? If so, what's the step I need to take to move in that direction? You've got to be taking those steps in the direction of what it is that you desire. You must be. Otherwise, you will never make progress. And again, those steps are not necessarily comfortable. In fact, the more uncomfortable you are, that's really like a good idea that you are moving in the right direction, right? Because what happens is that, hold on for a second, I'm just going to get a better seating here. All right, so what happens is that when you are stuck, it's like, and you're driving in that rearview mirror, it creates emotions and feelings of fear, right? So when you're stuck, it's like, and you're not taking any steps forward, and then because you're not taking any steps forward, you're like, see, it's not working. And then you get these emotions, and then you start to feel fear, and then you get into more scarcity and more fear-based thinking, and you get yourself into a pattern, right? How many of us are doing that right now with COVID? Here's my question. How many businesses are going out of business because of the reality of COVID versus the driving in the rearview mirror and getting stuck in the cycle of fear-based thinking and scarcity, where they're end running themselves and ending their own game? Okay. I'm going to tell you that there's a lot of that going on. Okay. And here's why. Okay. This is why. There's a reason for this. Okay. And so again, I don't want you to have any judgment. This is just about knowing where we're at. Our brain is wired to keep us safe. So we have this thing called the amygdala, right? And it's right up here in our noggin. And that amygdala is responsible for the response and memory of emotions, especially fear. Okay. So anytime an opportunity is presented to us that's in alignment with our desire, okay, until you get used to this, because then you learn to recognize it. It's like, am I afraid because this is a bad idea? Or am I afraid because it's uncomfortable? Okay, but what happens is we start to feel that feeling of fear, and we can feel it in our nervous system. And then what do? We fight, we flight, or we freeze. So your brain's like, I've seen this before. Like the brain is like, ooh, I have a memory of this, or like my parents said this is a bad idea, or like this isn't responsible, or this happened to me in the past, and now I have a memory, and I've got fear. And then we feel that fear, and oftentimes what ends up happening is we allow that emotion of fear to stop us, okay? What's happened though is that amygdala, it's like, that is a great emergency response system. So if I'm in the woods camping and I see a bear, I hope to God my amygdala kicks off and it's like, not good. Start making real smart decisions real quick to ensure that I don't get eaten by the bear. It's not the same thing when we are in safe situations and we project fear onto it. So like, as an example, you know, you've been in a bad relationship in the past, someone asks you out, you get fearful. Is that fear because that person's exactly like the old person and you're recognizing that? Or is that fear just because it's like, oh, the last time I tried this, I got burned and it hurt? You got to be able to move. You got to be able to move past that. We need to be able to recognize that. And that's why we need to respond, right? Not react. Because really, it's like, you know, again, it's like this, it's kind of like this thing of the jack-o'-lantern. Is that actually like a really scary thing out of a movie that's going to, you know, eat you and kill you? Or is it actually just jack-o'-lantern? We've got to be able to look at this and move forward. And, you know, and then also the other thing is that we've got to really recognize when we are operating from a need point that is like getting our basic needs met, or are we actually growing? So in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I explained to you guys a little bit earlier, we have like physiological needs, like we will die if we don't have them, like air, water, food, shelter, sleep, you know, clothing. I'm not talking about like running out to the Chanel store. I'm talking about just like keeping warm, you know, reproduction. We've got physiological needs. And then we've got safety needs, like, are we actually safe? You know, do I have personal security, employment, resources, health, and property? Okay. Here's the thing. It's really hard. It's much harder to grow a business out of a place of living in covering those basic, like, bottom two levels, right? We want to actually keep moving ourselves through our personal growth practice up to self-actualization, which is the desire to become the most that we can be. We want to keep moving past that and getting into that place where we have these higher vibration emotions and these higher vibration decision makings, where we're making decisions out of the place that we want to be, not where we are right now. Why? Because that's outside of our comfort zone. And when we cross past that, we're going to be able to create better results, because it's going to pull us forward instead of keeping us stuck. Okay. So we want to keep moving up the pyramid to self-actualization, where instead of being a victim to our lives, we're designing our lives. And we're creating what it is that we want, because we have a clear desire. We have a clear picture. We are now looking for the opportunities and we are stepping into them as they present themselves, right? Even if it's uncomfortable. So important. If you followed those steps over and over and over again, how would your life be different? How would your business be different? So let me repeat that. So we choose the vision, the desire, the results that we want, right? We're always seeking to have a better life experience, a better relationship experience, a better business experience, a better, you know, whatever. We're working on being the best people that we can be in order to co-create that experience in our lives. And we're moving in that direction. Because we have that strong desire, opportunity is around us. You know, the money is there. The business idea is there. The clients are there. The love of your life is there. It's there. And because we're looking for that, we're starting to see the opportunity, right? We're choosing not to drive out of the rearview mirror. And because we are there and we're looking and it shows up, all we need to do is step into that and take that aligned action in the direction of what it is that we desire in our lives. Now, again, it's going to be uncomfortable, but being uncomfortable isn't going to kill you, right? You're not going to die. You know, I have this t-shirt that I wear and my friends think it's so funny. I'm like, but did you die? right? We say that in my programs all the time. They're like, I finally got out of my comfort zone and made those calls, and now I have a bunch of conference calls or a bunch of clients, and I'm like, right, and look, you didn't die. Like, no one died in the process of building a business, and no one died in the process of falling in love. No one died in the process of creating the life that you really want, right? So we've got to get past that, and that requires some intentionality on your part. So another question I get asked a lot, and by the way, all of this is because of the questions I get asked a lot. That's why I'm doing this. So how do you know if it's your gut or fear? Because I do think that it's super important to listen to your gut. Okay. So first of all, when it is your gut, you know, right? You know, this is not the thing for me. This is not in alignment with my desires. This does not feel good. This does not, and I'm not saying uncomfortable, like it just doesn't feel good. You know, like you'd go test drive a car and you're like, this isn't really the one I want. You know, you go and look at a house and you're like, this isn't home. There's also a calmness to it. There's a calmness to that kind of decision. And there's also a steadfastness to that decision when it's your gut. You know, or you meet someone and you're like, I am not dating that person. Or you meet someone and you're like, yes, I want to pursue this. Like there's a gut reaction. Okay. When it's fear, this is what happens. Okay. And I want you to look at this, like for the decisions that you're making in your business. First of all, there's decision paralysis, meaning that you're like sitting there agonizing about, should I, shouldn't I? I don't know. What if? Like, and you're in the rearview mirror. Well, I've done this before and it didn't work. And I'm in this other program and that didn't work. And I'm doing this and that didn't work. Or I've hired this person and I got screwed and I did. Like, you're in decision paralysis. So you literally are not making a decision. That's fear. Okay. When it's in your gut, you know, you make a strong judgment. You wouldn't even be watching this. Let me just be blunt. You would have been like, this chick's not for me. I'm out. Okay. So procrastination. Oh my God, this is the best one. The things that the little devil on the shoulder says to you when you're in fear to keep you safe, because it is not your higher self, right? Your higher self is going to help you make a solid decision based in empowerment of what it is that you need to do. The little devil asshole on your shoulder is going to say things like, well, I need more information. I need to manifest on the, like, I need to meditate on this for 2 days. Like, because no, you don't. Like, if you actually believe in intuition, it's instantaneous. Like, I can stop and close my eyes for 2 minutes and I know the answer, right? So there's things like that. There's things like, I'm just going to wait until one of my favorite stories, which is just the insanity of it is, I had a client who called me and she's like, I don't know what to do. This woman called me. She's a health provider and she has been trying to rectify this health problem for 3 years. She hasn't been able to do it. She didn't know what was wrong. I got on the phone with her. I let her know that I let her know exactly what was wrong, exactly what we needed to do. And one of her biggest complaints was that she couldn't lose weight and that she'd been trying for 3 years and she couldn't do it. And so then when it came time to invest in the program with her, one of the things was she said, you know what? I love this. I know I need this. I'm just going to wait until I lose 10 pounds and then I'm going to work with you. That's insane. Have you guys ever heard that from a client? It's like, I haven't been able to do it for 3 years on my own. But I'm just going to keep trying to do it myself and see if I can do it differently now. Okay. That type of thinking is fear. And you got to get below the fear, right? And it may, your little devil is going to try to reason with you, right? Or I call it sometimes the shitty committee. You guys might have your own name, but that shitty committee is going to reason, like they're going to make it sound like, no, back up, because they're trying to keep you safe. Right. But let me change that for you in a different word. They're trying to keep you stuck where you are because to them that feels safe. You'll also start making excuses that are not so brilliantly, like to the naked eye, designed as reasons. Like, I don't have money. I got to check with my partner, the praying and meditating on the past, right? Which leads to procrastination. And then ultimately, we know like when you're, especially like when you're moving forward through things, like there's a method called BALL: blaming, avoiding, whining, and labeling. So it's like, are you staying stuck outside of your comfort zone because it's someone else's fault? You're avoiding things, you're whining, you're labeling, you're like, there's all of these things. And just so you know, this does not mean that you're a bad person. This means that you're giving more power to your fear than to your future. You're giving more power to your fear than to the future. And you get to make a decision to stop that right now. Okay. So your authority figure says something like, money doesn't grow on trees. You all of a sudden as a child, you're like, wait, does that mean we don't have enough money to eat? Do we not have enough money to pay rent? Or maybe even your parents talked about that, right? That gives you feelings of fear. You then develop beliefs like, oh my gosh, it's really hard to come by money. Money's bad. Like there's always a money problem. There's never enough. And then you start to take actions, right? And then life provides you conditions to reinforce those actions, and then you get results. Okay. Here's the thing. If you have the belief that it's easy to make as much money as you want, you've got thoughts and feelings about that. Like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. The world is my oyster. There's so much money out there. By the way, let me just also tell you on that, people keep saying like, oh, there's not as much money out there, because there's just as much money as there ever was. There's always been the same amount of money. It is just transferring from the timid to the brave. There's just as much money out there as there was. The affluent are spending money like hotcakes. I promise you. I talk to my friends all the time. I talk to my affluent clients all the time. They are buying houses. They are buying properties. They are going on vacations. I couldn't even get a boat this summer here in Vegas to save my life. I finally got one because people are buying up luxury boats. Like I'm talking $50,000, $60,000, $100,000. You literally can't get a boat in stock. So let me just tell you, money is abundant. There is money out there. Again, are you going to seize the opportunity, or are you going to retreat to your comfort zone? When you believe it's easy to make as much money, then you take actions like to go for it. Then the conditions that you're attracting support it, and then you're getting different results. It really is down to your beliefs. So whatever you believe will be true for you, and it's going to show up in your current reality. So the best way for you to diagnose what it is that's going on for you is to really look at that and look at what's going on in my current reality. And then we bring the unconscious to your conscious, right? So we're going to dig a little deeper. So your conscious and your unconscious is like, it's like your conscious is like the tip of an iceberg. It's the things you're aware of. Do you know that we're only aware of about 10% of what's going on in our brain? The rest of it is unconscious. It's our ego. It's underneath the surface. It's the story that's running. It is like the shitty committee's underground party zone of what is going on that is subconsciously driving our decisions. And have you ever seen that? Like when you see like a friend making a crazy decision and you're like, what are you doing? It's not because they're not consciously saying, I want to be broke. I want my I want my husband to divorce me. They're not doing it from that. It's from a subconscious place. They're not aware it's running, right? And how you start to change this is you got to start making decisions, right? You can have results or you can have excuses. You can't have both. You can have the life you desire, or you can have all of the reasons that you don't. You can have the dream, or you can have the fear. You have to choose, right? So which one do you choose? Write it down. Which one do you choose? Because let me just tell you, excuses will not get you what you want, right? And we have to identify the stories that the shitty committee is selling to you, right? And part of that is to start with identifying what's going on in your current reality. And like make a top 10 list. The top 10 list could look like this. 10 things that are going really amazing in my life right now. 10 areas where I am struggling and or having conflict or fear. And you could write down those 10 things. And then as you're looking at them, I want you to look at what's the story that you tell yourself around this. Like, I don't have the amount of money that I desire. What's the story? If someone says to you, why don't you have the amount of money that you desire? What's the story? What's going on for you there, right? What is the story that your shitty committee is selling to you? Well, it's because of the pandemic and because of COVID and because of, no, let me just tell you, like, even if you were in a business that, I can tell you right now, I have friends that were in the restaurant business when everything shut down. They're doing great. They pivoted their strategy. I have a client that was in a business that was devastatingly affected by COVID. They started making masks instead, which was something totally different than what they were doing before, and popped up a $2 million business in 3 months. It's a choice, right? It is a choice. The results that you're creating are based on your commitment to the results or your commitment to the excuses. It really is that. Like, it really is that. So you've got to identify what the stories that your shitty committee is telling you. So I want to talk a little bit about the difference between mindset, between, like a scarcity mindset, also known as like the poor and struggling middle class, versus an affluent mindset. Because you get to adopt your mindset. You get to choose what you believe and then look for evidence for that to reinforce it, right? You get to choose. We all get to choose every single day what it is that we are believing. So I want to talk a little bit about how the affluent think. So first of all, they truly believe, like, I can create whatever I want, right? I accept full responsibility for my life. So COVID happens. They don't just lay there and be like, oh my God, I'm a victim. Oh my God. They're like, all right, game on, opportunity to switch things around, right? It's an opportunity to switch things around. They think big, they think in possibilities. They focus on all the opportunities in front of them. They are opportunity hunters. They are opportunity hunters. They love money. And they think money's great, and it's an opportunity for you to live from a place of choice and to give back to the world and for you to be able to circulate more wealth. They're associating themselves with positive, successful people. And like they, let's say I'm running through these because you guys can read them, right? They act in spite of fear. They are constantly learning and developing. I've been in business 20 years. I'm always training. I am always working on my mindset. I literally have a healer a business synergist on staff, Robin Rosenhaus, who's phenomenal. I have her on my team. I also have a healer I see in person that I work on mindset and also energetics with, right? The world is their oyster, especially now. They're like, I get to have whatever I want, right? They make decisions. They are committed, they make decisions, and they act from it, right? They take the next step, even if it's scary and uncomfortable, because they know that they're always going to be able to make more, right? They are playing the big game. They are not playing the small game. When we're looking at people that are having challenges, right? We're looking at people that people that have challenges, like there's a saying that my friend Lucho says, like, there is never an opportunity without a problem to be had, or what does he say? It's something to the effect of like, they're always creating problems, right? Like, it's like, you can be like, look, here's everything you want. And they're like, let me give you a problem for that, right? There's a problem. So they're playing not to lose, right? They think small. They're kind of allowing life to happen to them. Like, well, there's this COVID thing. The biggest thing I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest thing is they let fear stop them. They let fear stop them. They do not do the work to overcome the mindset challenges that they do not overcome the mindset challenges that they need. They drive out of the rear view mirror. They're like, well, in the past, and so now I'm scared. They live in the comfort zone. Your affluent people live in getting outside the comfort zone. They're like, all right, well, this became comfortable. Now I got to leave, right? The minute that they become comfortable, they're like, I gotta go. Like, I gotta create a higher level. I'm ready for the next thing. I'm ready to scale. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready for the next opportunity. I'm ready for the next experience. The people that struggle in life and in business are like, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm gonna do what I've always done. Yes, I know that's not what I want, but it's safer than actually risking it, right? They're very problem oriented. Well, this happened in the past, so it's all thinking, okay? And here's the thing. Most fear is not rational. Again, most fear is not rational. It is not like, again, did you die? Right? I mean, I love this thing. Run toward what scares you unless it's a bear. Don't run towards a bear. I mean, we need to really we really need to think about this, right? We really need to think about this. It's like, there are going to be times when opportunities are going to present itself to you in life and in business, and you just have to leap at it, because if you don't, you lose it. You lose the opportunity. I see this all the time. People they lose the job they wanted. They lose the love that was standing in front of them. They lose the opportunity to scale their business because they were in a place of fear and it wasn't rational. And it really sounds like, well, what if this doesn't work? What if something happens that happens before? What if? You guys stop talking to yourself like that. What are your what ifs? And please do, I would love it if, for those of you who feel comfortable to share this, share what your what ifs are, because I promise you, you're not alone. And also it's going to help other people see that they're not alone, right? So what if the only thing that is standing between you and everything that you want right now is the bullshit story that your ego is telling you, and up until now you've been buying? That's it. You've been buying it until now, but you get to make a decision, a new decision right now. How do you want this year to end up? What do you want 2021 to be like? You need to shift from a place of fear to a place of possibility. You need to move towards the direction of your desires. The opportunity to create that is already out there. And once you make that decision, like, no, that's it. No more, pardon my French, no more fucking around. Like, I'm going for it. I'm going for the life and business that I desire. You make that commitment and you do it no matter what. The universe is going to conspire to make it happen for you. My team and I are going to conspire to make this happen for you. They're colleagues that you're going to be surrounded with who have already made that leap, who have already taken that leap of fear, are going to conspire to make it happen for you. Okay? It's like, what are you really afraid of? What are you really afraid of? Right? That resistance that you're feeling, it's a normal response. It's like that like, what if? Like, but what if it's amazing? What if you experience something unlike you've ever experienced before? You have to stop feeding the fear. So we know that affluent buyers make ROI-based decisions and reach decisions quickly. So you've got to get into the habit in your businesses of making decisions quickly, right? Quickly. Your opportunity hunters. Who here is an opportunity hunter now? You're opportunity hunters. You're looking for opportunities to further, to grow. I'm reminding myself of this right now, and I'm like, I'm pumped. Is anyone else pumped? Like, you've got this opportunity in front of you, and you keep making decisions in the direction of what it is that you desire, right? And you take the next right step, and you take the next right step, and you have faith that the universe is going to show up and conspire to make it happen with you, right? We know that the most failure is in direct regard to not making decisions or making fear-based decisions, staying in your comfort zone, okay? So look, one of the things that I want you to know, because I know that some of you have created situations in your business where maybe you don't have as much of the free capital that you've decided before, right? Or maybe you're experiencing this with some of your clients. here's the deal. It's never about the money. There's so much money out there, right? There's so much money. If there's a will, there's a way, right? When there's a will, there's a way. Look, there's no way for you to not get what you want when it is what you want. The opportunity exists, right? It is never really about money. And if it really is about money, if you're like, no, seriously, like, I don't know if I'm going to pay my rent, then now is not the time for you to have a business. It's not. You are not. It takes money to grow your business. You've got to be learning to grow your business. And I'm not talking about just, I mean, as much as this was a highly valuable, profit intensive, and I know you guys agree as well, it's not the same thing as being immersed in a community, immersed in training, immersed with us on and having access to us on a daily basis during the business week, on a daily basis to support you when you're going rogue, when you're getting off track, for you to be able to ask your questions. It's not the same thing, right? So the only thing that you need to address when you're making decisions in your business is this in alignment with my desires? Is this what I really want? Whether it's hiring a team member, whether it's, I know a lot of you out there are considering jumping into the Marketing to Millionaires Business Accelerator. Do you want it? Is it in alignment with your dreams? Do you want to have a successful client? Do you want to learn to master affluent clients? Then it's a very easy decision when you start to look at things from a return on investment perspective. You've got to be looking at things from a return on an investment perspective in your business. And again, whether it's this program or it's hiring someone or it's whatever that decision is in your life, right? You've got to be looking at things from that perspective, because here's the truth. Okay. Whenever people start to find, when people start to tell me things, you can tell very much when they've gone back into the comfort zone, because here's the bottom line, God's honest truth. For you and anyone else around you, if it's important, you'll find a way. And if it's not, you'll find an excuse. If you're committed to it, you will find a way. And if not, you'll find an excuse. And those excuses look like, I don't have the money. I'm scared to spend the money. I don't have the time. My left toe hurts. I can't because, excuses are aplenty. They're just going to buy you a ticket into mediocrity. So you have to decide, what is more important to me? Do I want to stay stuck, or do I want it all? Because you are at choice right now in this moment about everything. And then step 3 is you've got to consciously choose to make abundance-based decisions and take strategic actions towards your dreams. Right? So you have to literally say, yeah, this is what I want, and I'm not screwing around anymore. This is what I want, and these are the decisions I am going to take in order to create that. You've got to do it even though it is uncomfortable, because every single result starts with a decision. Okay? Every single result starts with a decision. I am going to get the body I desire. I am going to have the relationship I deserve. I am going to have the support in my business I want. I am going to make the money I want. I'm, whatever it is, whatever that decision is, every result starts with a decision. And your ability to be able to make that decision starts right now. You can make a decision right now about what it is that you want. And when you make that decision, you're going to get uncomfortable, because it's not comfortable, because your shitty committee's oh crap, they just made a decision, and it's going to be uncomfortable. And what's going to happen is you're going to want to run back to your old way of doing things, because knowing, even if it sucks, is more comfortable than moving past that barrier to get the life you desire. It is, right? It's more comfortable. So you're going to have these things, and then all of a sudden the shitty committee is going to go into action, right? I wouldn't say it's funny, but it's like clockwork. What happens is the minute that we open up the Marketing to Millionaires Business Accelerator to people, everyone gets really quiet. This is why. They just hit the terror barrier. It was all fun and games until we're like, hey, who's seriously committed to to really creating this business and like doing it now, like not 10 months from now, like who wants it now? Here's the opportunity. And then people hit the terror barrier, and then they start looking in the rearview mirror, and then they get all in their mind and they retreat, or they'll stop talking, or they're agonizing over decisions. Some just literally will numb out and roll, right? And they're not ready, and they're going to stay stuck. And then there's other people that are like, oh my God, this was the scariest thing I ever did, and I'm doing it. And they do it anyways. And then those are the same people that will tell you, my clients, they were like, I did it, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. It was the best decision I ever made in my life, right? And then they'll hit the next level of this when we're asking them to do the next uncomfortable thing. And then they get to make a decision, like, how long are they going to stay stuck here? Well, but it's the last time I made calls, this is what happened. Once they get through it, they're like, okay, I'm really bummed I procrastinated on that for 6 months, right? Or 3 months or whatever, because we're in there being like, get it together. Let's go. Let's do this. So we're going to help you. But I'm going to tell you right now, our job when we are working with you is to constantly get you to move out of your comfort zone in the direction of what you want. That's our job. It's not going to be comfortable, but it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be so worth it. Okay. Because that's where the magic happens. To get the results that you've never gotten before, you guys probably heard this before, you've got to be willing to do the things that you've never done, right? Both in your mindset and in your strategic action. You have to progress towards what it is that you want, you have to get out of your comfort zone. Okay. And part of that is part of the way we help you do that, I'll give you one example of the way we train you to do that, is we need you to get in touch with your why. Like, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to make this type of money? Why do you want to succeed? Why do you want the body of your dreams? Why do you want the relationship of your dreams? Why do you want the business of your dreams? Why do you want this the finances, the bank account of your dreams? Your why has to be bigger than your fear. It has to be. And one of the things we do with people in our programs is we help you identify the why. I'm going to tell you a quick story because this woman inspires the hell out of me. And I know that every single time I've told this story before, it has inspired the hell out of my clients. I want you to meet my client, Kimberly. Kimberly came, some of you may have heard this story before. Kimberly came to me back in 2012. Maybe 2012, 2013. She came to me and she came to one of my Marketing Millionaires live events. And when she came in, she was sitting at the very back table and she had like a little hat on. And I kind of noticed her, and I noticed also that she kept getting up and going out of the room. And, because when you're watching the room, you kind of notice these things. And so on a break, I walked up to her and immediately she said, I'm so happy to meet you. I'm so sorry that I keep leaving the room. I'm just really sick. And I said, oh no, do you need anything? And she said, well, I have stage 4 cancer. And so it's just, it's my chemo. I can't help it, but I really didn't want to miss this. And I hope it's not too distracting. She was very apologetic. And I was like, oh my gosh, absolutely not. Like, please, like, let us know what we can get for you. I said, I'm so grateful you're here. And she said, I need this. She said, I need this. I need to be here. This is exactly where I need to be right now. And so I said, well, let us know if we need anything. I asked my team to get her some ginger ale and some crackers and to also keep an eye on her. And then when we opened up, and we made the invitation to have people come into our Marketing Millionaires program, she came up to me and she said, I have to do this. She said, I have to do this. And she said, I don't think I'm going to make it. And I can't leave my family. She has several children. She said, I cannot leave my family in the situation they're in, because the minute that I'm gone, my husband is going to fall apart. And I'm so afraid that he's not going to be able to really take care of things, at least for a little while. And so I need to set our family up for when I'm gone. That's her why. We often say it's the why that makes you cry. She was so committed that she was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to set them up and I need your help. And I very rarely ever make exceptions to like the whole, you've got until the end of the thing, till the end of the deadline. In this one exception, I made an exception because she said, look, we're really struggling right now, but I am so committed. If you could just give me a day, I'll sign the contract. I'll put down what I have, but I can't make the full payment. If you could, I'll get the payment for you. And I said, okay, absolutely. Like if you're willing to show up, I'm gonna show up and meet you. So she went back to her house. She took a bunch of stuff that she called junk that she had at her house and she sold it on Craigslist. And she's like, I've got my payment. And we started working together. You guys, in a very short amount of time, like 90 days or less, she had created this business and she had secured $1 million in contracts in this business. $1 million in contracts. Okay. If that's not impressive enough, she then set the company up to be acquired by someone else. And she actually had a liquidity experience in her business where she then was able to sell the business to someone else because she had all these contracts that were signed. And she was able, let me just tell you, she made a lot of money. She ended up buying her dream home here in Vegas. She was able to go and she got some new cancer treatments. She is now in remission. And she actually just moved in the last few months. She moved back east to be closer to her kids. And they've built their dream home there. That is what commitment looks like. And let me just tell you, if Kimberly with stage 4 cancer with the feeling awful can do that, we can do it too. Right? We can do it too. And I know you've heard other stories like this before, but whenever I feel like, you know what, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this because I struggle with the same stuff in my own life, right? Just in different areas. I just go, you know what? If Kimberly can do that, I'm pretty sure I can get it done too. Like I just need to suck it up, or I need to get out of my own way, right? She is such an inspiration. I will tell you, I always learn things from my clients, and she gave me one of the greatest gifts in my life to have that experience of watching her do that, because it reminded me that all of us, we just have no excuse. We have no excuse great enough to keep us stuck at a place that we don't want to be. So I want to invite you to make the choice right now to never let circumstances dictate your dreams, right? Because making excuses takes the same amount of time as making progress, right? And every delay in that decision right now is delaying you from the outcome you ultimately want. Because eventually, I mean, you either will or you won't, but if you finally make this decision 8 months from now, that's 8 months of progress that you've lost. And I really want to invite you to take a stand for yourself, right? Here's what I want to let you know. And I know this because I've taken countless leaps of faith. And sometimes I've crashed and burned, but I got myself up again. No one gets around the leap of faith. No one does. Not me, not you, not anyone listening to this. No one gets around the leap of faith. And everything you want is on the other side of that fear. Everything. Whatever that fear is, it's on the other side of the fence. You got to leap, right? You got to leap. Okay. So I want to really quickly wrap up with the impact of making fear-based decisions. And that is this: if you treat your business like a business, it's going to pay you like a business. But if you treat your business like a hobby, it is going to cost you like a hobby. Okay. So if you continue to operate your business the way you have, you will miss opportunities. It will be frustrating. It will be inefficient. You will not get the results that you desire. You simply won't. You will continue to have more of the same or worse, right? So you've got to start consciously making decisions differently. And part of that is to model the decision-making process of the affluent, right? So I'm going to ask yourself right now, what are you committed to? You guys have heard me say this in the trainings all last week. Commitment shows up two places. It shows up in your calendar and your bank account. It shows up in your calendar and your bank account. So what are you willing to invest in time-wise, financially wise, for you to get the result that you desire? Again, you can use this information anywhere. Is it your relationship? Is it your health? Is it your finances? Is it your business? Is it, your kid? What is it? What are you committed to? And how is it showing up there? And I want you to really embody this for a minute. So everyone just sit back in your chairs and put both feet on the floor, because there's a definite different feeling that you get when you make a committed decision. So I want you to think about for a minute. So everyone get centered, put your feet on the floor, take a deep breath. Allow yourself to settle into your body. And I want you to think of a time that you made a committed decision, I'm absolutely having that. I'm absolutely going for that. I'm getting that. I'm having that experience. And what does it feel like? What does it feel like in your business, in your body? What do you notice? Are your shoulders popping up? Maybe your head is tilted up towards the sky. What are the feelings and sensations in your body of that time that you made that committed decision? And what were the results as a result of making that committed decision? Just feel those feelings of what it's like to feel when you make that committed decision. That there's no way I'm not going to have that. Good. Okay. Just take a second, open your eyes for a moment, and write down what that felt like. What did that feel like for you? I know for me, it feels really empowered. It feels very strong. It feels very aligned. It feels very possible. And then close your eyes again. And I want you to think of a time where you waffled on making a decision. You stayed in the comfort zone. You let the shitty committee reel you in, and you missed an opportunity. And then you regretted it. You regretted it, and it was too late. And what does that feel like? What does that feel like in your body? Interestingly, I noticed that my shoulders just slump forward, and I have a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach. So don't worry, I'm not going to leave you in that space. Take a deep breath, shake it off, notice what you noticed. And now I want you to go back into thinking about what your heart's desire is for what you want to manifest in your life in the next 90 days and in the next 12 months. And I want you to just take a minute to dream about it and to really vision it. What does it feel like to have the business and the life that you desire? Can you see the money flowing easily and effortlessly to you? And the perfect people to support you showing up along the way. And the opportunities flying in abundance, like you almost can't believe it. It's like you've hit the jackpot. And you're working with the clients that you love. And they adore you too, and you've got a great relationship. And you're so grateful to be able to do the work in the world that you do. Maybe you have a team supporting you that is just so excited to build this vision with you. And you're making all the money that you desire. You finally reached the business vision that you desire. And what's the impact of that on your life? What does life look like now? How are the relationships in your life? Do you see yourself having more free time? What's it like to just not have to worry about money, knowing that it is constantly coming in and that it's constantly growing, knowing that you can circulate the wealth to others around you? Maybe that's charity, maybe that's hiring people. I really want you to feel into the feelings of that desire. And then almost like you have a dial on your body, I want you to turn it up to a 10. And what does that feel like? To me, it feels like a fire burning in my belly. And then what if we turn that up to 100? I want like your desire level at like desire level 100. All right, awesome. So go ahead and bring your awareness back to the current time. And I want you to just really feel the feelings that are in your body. And I want you to write it down. What did that feel like for you? Like, and also, are you noticing, like when I open my eyes, like my office looks brighter, outside looks brighter. When you're in that place of aligned desire, let me just tell you, everything you want, all the opportunities are here now, right? So you need to decide like you're already there. You need to start making decisions looking out of the front windshield, not out of the rearview mirror. Because the affluent do not ask, I don't know, can I? And they certainly never say, I really want and need blank, but I just can't because, okay? The affluent make a decision and then they say, got it, this is what I'm doing. Now, how do I find a way? And then they do, because there's always a way, because you cannot have the desire without the opportunity to fulfill the desire right in front of your face. I'm going to post these top 12 beliefs of the affluent entrepreneur in the thread so that we can actually kind of move on to the next part. And I know we've got a hot seat coming up, but I want you to ask yourself, in alignment with the desire that you have, what are the 3 decisions you need to make in your business right now to get the support or to get the results that you desire, what are the 3 decisions you need to make in your business right now to get the results that you desire? What are those? Maybe it is, I need to stop listening to the shitty committee. Maybe it is, I need to hire someone on my team that I've been too scared to hire. Maybe it's, I need to join the Marketing to Millionaires Business Accelerator and get this level of support. What is it for you? What are those 3 decisions you need to make right now to get the business you desire, or to get the results you desire? You don't need to worry about the how yet. You need to make the decision first. What is your decision? What do you want? And what are the decisions you're making? What do you want? And what are the decisions you're making? And then what you need to do is you need to figure out a way to make it happen. Not the other way around. You need to decide first. Make decisions from the place of you already have what you want. That's going to pull you out of your comfort zone into the place of possibility. And for those of you who one of your decisions right now is to join the Marketing to Millionaires Business Accelerator, right? I'm in the comments, and I am going to create a special bonus for you, which is going to look like access to me. So write I'm in, and I'm going to get you guys a special bonus with me. We are here to support you in creating the life that you desire. And we are here to help you focus in creating the business that you desire. We are so thrilled. I hope you guys have enjoyed this training. I hope that I have the opportunity to work with you past the profit intensive. I want to know what your favorite part of this training is, and I'd love to support you along the way. All right, everyone, we are going to be starting our hot seat in just a little bit here. So let's go. Let's do this. Let's have the best year of our lives. All right, everyone, have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.